Welcome to Part of My Frenchie. This is me, 143. If you don't have a friend, you have three now. This is Brady, Coco, and myself. And we are here to talk about how to stay safe when we are out and about in the neighborhoods, or if you're out riding your bike or with friends. And Brady is here to tell us how to do that. So give us some advice, Brady, on when you're out, so if you're riding your bike by yourself, or things to look out for when you are out in the neighborhoods.
So look out for, if you're just riding your scooter, look out for if a car stops right next to you, run.
What if you know that car?
Then don't run.
Okay, what if you don't know that car?
Run.
Okay, so what if the people stop and try to ask you directions?
Like what direction?
I don't know. So, well, tell me is there any other tips that you should have, or you can think of?
Just be careful.
You should always watch. You should always be watching where you're going, right?
Yes. Because I had a white van pull up next to me, and he stopped right next to me trying to tell me something, so I just ran.
Yeah. And what did you do when you ran?
I went in my friend's backyard because he has a creek, and I went into the creek, and my mom told me to call the police.
Okay, so what did you do when you called the police? What did the police say to you when you called them?
They asked what they look like. I told them what they look like. They asked my name. They asked for the address.
And then what happened?
I was waiting on my friends. I was waiting on my friend's side of the house until we saw a van pull up again. So I thought about running, but I wanted to stay a little bit longer and see. The police pulled up in a police van, which I've just had a cruise with a van.
Okay.
So.
And what did the police say when they pulled up?
They said, because there was a van pulled up right next to our house. They said, is this the van? And I said, I think so. But it was just workers working.
So that wasn't the van, right?
Yeah, that wasn't the van, so he's still out there.
So then what did the policeman say to you?
He said they would be on the lookout, but I haven't seen them ever since.
Right. But the police said that you did a good job by calling, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, but a good tip is to always stay aware of where you're at, right?
Yeah, and if that does happen, get far away from them. And then when you think you're in a safe zone, then call the police.
Right. Exactly. Call the police and stay safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then get to an area, and then if you can't get to a place where you can get, if you can't get to an area, then try to knock on a door and see if you can find an adult that can help, right?
Yeah.
So it's always good to stay safe. And I know there's a lot of parents out there that don't like to have kids with cell phones and all that. But there's other things out there as well. There's little watches that can call the police and call home. Yeah, Gizmos. That's what it is. It's Gizmo by Verizon. They have little watches that kids can call their house, and they have limited access and parental controls on them that can keep kids safe. There's little alarm things that you can do. There's Apple tags that you can put on kids' backpacks. There's a lot of things that kids can have that can keep them safe from other people. But like in this situation, if Brady hadn't had a phone, he wouldn't be able to call anybody, or he wouldn't be able to call the police.
And I would have still been there.
Right. So this was a good situation where, he was able to contact the police, and he was able to contact me, and, be in a safe situation. So again, I know there's a lot of parents out there that are a little leery about their kids having phones and so forth. But I mean, there are other devices out there that kids can have access to you and have access to 911, if they're out by themselves or in certain situations, because there are going to be certain situations when you're not going to be with your kids, or they're going to be walking to the bus or going to be walking, with their friends and so forth. And unfortunately, there are bad people out there. So best thing to do is try to keep your kids as safe as possible, and keep them, so that they're aware. Go ahead.
Also, there probably are some people that's going to disagree with that and say, like, well, why can't they have an iPad? Because iPads are big.
Yeah, iPads. Yeah, some kids have iPads, and that's fine. But a lot of kids aren't outside playing with a big old iPad, so they're not going to be outside running around with their friends and have a big old iPad. So that's not really sense. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Where those little gizmo watches are really nice, because you can actually track your kids with those, and I think they're only like $19 a month or whatever. So if you're really concerned about that, those gizmo watches are great. Brady had that for a while before he had a phone. So
yeah,
that might be something to look into.
So there's all types of gizmos out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Gizmo 1, a Gizmo 2, and I think a Gizmo 3.
Probably.
So I had a Gizmo 2, and then my mom upgraded me to a Gizmo 3, which also keeps your kid entertained, because the Gizmo 3 actually has games on there that are suitable for kids. You could track it, and also you could video time and take funny photos.
Mm-hmm. And then I believe that there's another phone out there, and I can't think of which one it is, but that also has just limited phone numbers. I think it has like 4 or 5 different phone numbers that you can have on there, as well as it goes to 911 and all that in case there's an emergency, and it has a tracker for parents as well. So there, like I said, there's all sorts of things out there, but it's always good to invest, especially if your kids are going to be away or just out and about. Doesn't hurt to have something a little bit extra to keep them safe. So, anything else to add about safety?
Yes.
What?
Also, if you're in the road and you see it, and like there's no backyards you can go into, and you go to a house and they don't answer you, you ring the doorbell like constantly.
Okay.
If they still don't answer, go to another house.
Right.
Fast as you can.
Right. Yep. Just try to get help as quickly as you can, and get somebody to contact the police.
Or
what?
Or if you're like live in like those houses that have all that land and don't have any houses like near it, there's probably like a road that's near you.
Okay.
So you can get somebody to help you.
Right. Just find an adult that can help, and then either way, get the cops there quick, and then everybody will be safe. So until next time, if you don't have a friend,
You have one now.
you have one now.
Pardon my French. He.
This is me.
This is me, 143.